Welcome back to the Blazor Puzzle. I'm Carl Franklin from AppVNext, and that is my friend Jeff Fritz from Microsoft. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Carl. Good to see you. Wait, hang on. Do you see it? They're here.
See what?
They're right there.
They're here. Yeah. I saw it.
Wow.
I can't believe it. I don't know why people are still watching this stupid show, but they do. They show up every week.
They could win fabulous prizes.
Fantabulous.
Absolutely.
We are recording this still before .NET Conf.
Still.
So you still have a week or so to go, right?
Oh, boy. 6 days. T-minus 6 days until the .NET 9 announcement.
Mm-hmm.
.NET Conf. We've got 4 days of content, more than 80 sessions.
Yeah.
All kinds of folks that you know from the .NET community, from Azure, from MVPs, folks from all over the world helping out, presenting, part of .NET Conf. We were part of .NET Conf last year.
Yep.
So much fun. Really looking forward to this one.
You pretty much are the MC for .NET Conf, aren't you?
I'm the executive producer.
Yeah.
I help host for a little bit, but I do lead the overall event, and it's lot of fun to do.
Yeah. Well, we probably won't be doing .NET 9 for a couple more Blazor Puzzle shows, but after .NET Conf, you really don't have any excuse to not install .NET 9.
You will be installing .NET 9. You will be.
Okay, let's get into last week's puzzle. Here we go. Okay, so if you recall, we were trying to move code to a code behind partial class. We've already done that.
Yeah.
But we want to remove the @ directives, right?
Yeah.
From the top of the file. There's nothing special about the demo. I mean, it loads, and we were doing this on the demo page. But the story is, how can we get rid of this and still have it work?
Yeah, we want to have a .razor file that's just markup and eliminate as much C# code as possible, so that it's dumb with just any if and for loops, nothing else. The directives and really these UI concerns that are specific to the framework, let's move them somewhere else.
Right. So obviously the first thing we get rid of is this line here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So now it's just another Razor component.
Yeah.
But here is the solution. Well, one of the solutions, and the one that most of the people that wrote in found. You could just add this to your code behind class, a route attribute. What is this, Jeff? MVC? What's going on here?
Actually, it is a little bit like MVC, right? We had route attributes that were available in our other ASP.NET frameworks, and they would allow us to define routes that you'd be able to use to get through to a controller. Well, that's still available. Blazor's built on top of ASP.NET, so that page directive is actually just a wrapper on top of the ability to have a route attribute.
Well, let's see if it works. I've done that modification. Now I'm going to go to the weather page and, who knew?
Now,
I'll tell you who knew. The 5 people or so that wrote in with the answer, they knew.
Yes, indeed. Now, the one thing about using the route attribute is you need to give it a constant to go with it. So most folks just hard code, here's the string, and when you're in MVC, right, you just put it on the top of a controller and you don't think much of it. There it is. There's the route. But it has to be a constant. It doesn't necessarily have to be a hard-coded string right there. So the other thing that some of our folks wrote about is you can put constants inside of a class somewhere else in your project and include and use that constant inside the route attribute instead of hard coding /weather.
Very good. So we had a lot of people that wrote in, but nobody knew. Like everybody who wrote in were previous winners, but we're going to pick one anyway. they may not get another prize, but we have to give them honorable mention anyway.
Totally.
So the winner who would have won prizes that we picked from all the right answers is, drum roll please, Peter Guggenberger from Austria.
Yeah.
Feldkirch, Austria.
Congratulations, Peter.
And Peter has already won the following: a quadraphonic Blazor Puzzle mug.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can't get that at Best Buy.
No.
And also a locally sourced Blazor Puzzle t-shirt.
That does look locally sourced. Okay.
Yeah, locally sourced. Uh-huh.
Terrific.
And you could win these fabulous prizes too, but you got to play the game. And guess what? Here comes another one.
Right now. All right. So this is the case of the curious counter. Now, this is a typical Blazor Global Server Interactive page, and it's got the default counter page there that we can go through and run, but it doesn't quite work right. When you click
Let me try clicking on the counter here.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
It doesn't work.
So
I know. You didn't add interactivity, right?
No, this is Global Server Interactivity.
Huh.
We're all right there. So if we take a look at the code for the counter page,
yeah,
you'll see I introduced a business object. I introduced an interface called iCounter that I want to move the business logic for the counter into, because there's all kinds of counters that you might have. But for this one, I'm going to start with just the counter that allows me to increment the counter there on line 17, and I'm going to bind it there on line 7 so that we output the count. And there's an interface there that defines the count and increment property and method. But for some reason, it doesn't increment.
Right. That's
I mean, if you put a breakpoint there on 17, it hits the breakpoint, right?
Let's take a look.
I mean, that'll help address what you were saying about interactivity.
Yeah.
Okay.
It does work.
So what's going on?
So it's
here,
not
friends?
the lack of interactivity. It's not that this is a server-side rendered app.
No.
So we're going to just leave it right there. I don't want to dive into any of this stuff, the interface. You can do that on your own time, but go ahead and figure it out.
Why doesn't this increment? That's your question. Let us know. Right? There's an email address, isn't there?
Yeah. So if you think you know the answer, don't post it on social media, of course, but instead send it to Jeff and me at blazorpuzzle@appvnext.com with the subject line puzzle number 56.
Right.
And good luck and obsess away. I know you're going to be sweating with this one.
Yeah.
I think, Jeff, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good luck. We'll see you next week. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Take care, friend.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out blazortrain.com and the .NETshow.com for more great content.